Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Me and G-Man are filming our weekly pod tomorrow being Thursday. So it should be out Thursday evening. The reason I tell you this is when we finish doing the pod, we are going to do a Q&A for about 20 minutes. So there's still time to get questions in. They don't have to be all boxing. They can be anything. The way you get your questions in is just go to the community tab and there'll be a post there about the Q&A. Put your questions in there and we'll answer as many as possible in about 20 minutes. All right, let's have a look and see what there is to talk about before we talk about Moses Itauma and Ben Whittaker. Let's start here. Britain's 10 most popular active fighters. This is going to be interesting. All right, so number 10, they've got Dave Allen. Number 9, Callum Simpson, very popular, sells a lot of tickets. Johnny Fisher, yeah, I think that's fair. Number 8, Lee Wood, number 7. I think that's a bit low. Lee always does good numbers. Number 6, Chris Billam-Smith. I would actually have Lee above Chris Billam-Smith, just. Number 5, Michael Conlon, yes. 4, Josh Warrington, absolutely. I think Josh has got the loudest fans, like the craziest fans, honestly. Number 3, Lewis Crocker. I'd have Josh above Lewis Crocker. I know Lewis did put 20,000 at Windsor Park. I was there for that, but I'd have Josh above him. Number 2, Derek Chisora. Yeah, maybe. I think I'd have Josh above Derek as well. At number 1, AJ. Yeah. Of active fighters, obviously Tyson Fury is not active at the moment. AJ's so far in front of the rest of them. Daniel Dubois should be there. I'm thinking about that now. I know he had good dance partners in AJ and Usyk, but the fact is, he still had 90,000 at Wembley. Do you know what I mean? So Daniel Dubois should definitely be in the top 10. That's wrong. That's wrong. I might do that. I might do a top 10 video. We'll see. But AJ, yeah, by far, number 1. Zhili Zhang awaits Derek Chisora's signature. We've accepted the fight 3 times. That's a risky fight for Chisora. And it's a big fight because Zhili Zhang is ranked higher than Chisora. Zhili Zhang is recognized by many as being better than Chisora. I think that's fair. But if this is going to be Chisora's final fight, it's just... the build-up's going to be boring. The fight itself will be good, but I want there to be carnage in the build-up. I want there to be carnage at the presser, at the weigh-in. And there are, I guess, 3 fighters that bring that. Dillian Whyte, but he's coming off a bad defeat to Moses Itauma. Could you sell a Dillian Whyte fight? I'm not quite sure. Deontay Wilder, most certainly. But number 1, and I know people get upset with this guy getting opportunities because of his past discretions, but number 1 is Jarrell Miller. That Jarrell Miller is carnage pre-fight, and he's carnage in-fight, and he's carnage post-fight. And I think that's a good 50th fight, I think, for Derek Chisora. Zhili Zhang just, I don't know, man. Like, Zhili Zhang could chin Chisora in the first round. He really could. I mean, we know the gas tank dies after 5, but in the first 3 or 4 rounds, this guy could be, I mean, he could be the second best fighter in the world. I know that sounds crazy behind Usyk, but the first 3 or 4 rounds, this guy is so dangerous, and then the gas tank just empties, and then it kind of either gets stopped or it's boring. Boxer BBC launch jeopardized by injury to Jimmy TKV. Conspiracy theories are running wild with this one. We had the Fundora-Furman fight postponed because of injury to Fundora, and everyone's like, really? And I think people started to say the same thing with this one. And the reason they've said this is because obviously ticket sales, you know what people are like. They showed that the ticket sales are not doing very well. It's gone on the same day as Fabio Wardley, Joseph Parker, which was announced about a month before. So they've kind of, all the boxing fans have said, okay, we're going to watch that as opposed to go and watch this. Look, it's not good, is it? I mean, Boxer and Ben Shalom in particular have not had it good in the last few months, and this is just another blow. Obviously, Vidal Riley gone, Ben Whittaker, the jewel in the crown, gone. Then you go and put on this, which is a good British heavyweight title fight. Now that's not happening. I'm hearing it's going to move to November. So look, it ain't great. What can you do, man? What can you do? I don't know. You just got to keep on going. If you're Ben Shalom, you're thinking, surely this turns around. Surely. Chris Billam-Smith versus Roman Frez gets a second purse bid Purse bid scheduled for October 16th again, which is tomorrow. Again, more on Ben Shalom here. What do you do? I saw that the purse bid, I think the minimum for the first purse bid, I think was 300,000. No one bidded. I think they've dropped the minimum down to 150,000. I mean, is anyone going to bid on it? I don't know the interest in that fight. I don't. Jaya Pataya has spoken a lot about wanting to fight Chris Billam-Smith, even though there's no title on the line for Jai to grab, because he's spoken about unification, but for some reason, he's always mentioned Chris Billam-Smith. Jai's fighting, isn't he, soon? I mean, you'd rather see Jai just scrap the guy he's fighting, no disrespect, and fight Chris Billam-Smith, and there'll be interest. It's a risky fight for Chris, but he'll get paid. Jai will get sort of the notoriety he wants. It could happen over here. It's a big fight. I just read out the popularity contest, and Chris is in the top 10. Like, he'll do good numbers against Jai. It's another world title opportunity. I mean, clearly, if no one's bidding for you versus Roman Fresh, no one's interested. Ultimately, a promoter will look at, okay, can we make money off that? Can we make any money? Is anyone interested? And I guess no one is interested. All right, let's talk about Moses Itauma and Ben Whittaker. Who should we start with first? Should we start with Ben? Let's start with Ben Whittaker. Let me get up his opponent's details. I was waiting for this announcement because I kind of knew it was coming. And I was waiting more for the reaction to this announcement. He's fighting a guy called Benjamin GAVAZI. Look, never heard of him. You know, no point me lying to you guys. Never heard of this guy, Benjamin GAVAZI. I would have preferred, and I think I've said this out loud, I would have preferred him to fight someone over here. I mean, there are a number of like light heavyweights over here. Like, I think we all know the top 10 light heavyweights over here, right? Or at least top 7, top 8. This Benjamin GAVAZI could be better than a couple of those, but we don't know who he is. We know who they are. It's an easier sell. People get behind it, right? I mean, there has been a lot of talk about Craig Richards, but I do believe Craig is going to have a fight in Africa. There's a lot of talk about MATCHROOM going to Ghana. I think Craig could headline over there. So that kind of ruled him out. You know, I'm curious to know. I'm curious, like desperate to know. I might even phone Ben Shalom after this, actually. I'm desperate to know who Ben was going to match Ben Whittaker with. Remember, Ben Shalom said he was going to fight in November. So Ben Shalom would have had an opponent there ready. You know the thing with Ben Whittaker, and I was thinking about this. I want to see him take on a guy top 15 in the world because I think he's that good. I think he's ready. Maybe Ben doesn't. Maybe Eddie doesn't. Maybe Frank Smith. Maybe Andy Lee. I don't know who his manager is, Ben Whittaker. But maybe they don't think he's ready. And we have to kind of just accept that, unfortunately. Maybe they're like, oh, 1 second. Maybe he's not ready for that. As much as we think he is, because I guess we look at what he did in his last performance against Liam Cameron, and maybe we kind of judge what he does outside the ring and think that somehow equates to performances inside the ring. You know, we're getting confused with popularity versus how good you are. And maybe they're like, okay, we need to kind of go steady with him. I personally think he's ready to kind of go. I've always said this, Ben Whittaker's not 23, 24. He's an Olympic silver medalist. I know the amateur game's different. But maybe his team think, okay, we need this one, another one, and then we'll see. Maybe. Again, look, I would have preferred, like you, a name that we know, or at least someone in this Benjamin GAVAZI that has fought someone so we can kind of compare the performances. You know, we're not getting that. What we are getting is a Ben Whittaker fight, which is important. He needs to stay busy. But, you know, I have seen a lot of people come at Eddie for this, right? Oh my God, look at this, Eddie, what the hell? I think people need to understand how it works when, I mean, there are several ways, as a guy starts drilling outside, there are several ways in which fights get made. If you are AJ, Canelo, Fury-esque, ultimately, you're so powerful and big, you just pick the fight you want to fight, like Floyd did for many years, right? Once you get to that level, when you're coming through early, it's more your manager. Your manager picks a fight for you and you kind of just take it. Then when you get to a certain stage, when you're starting to get paid a bit, your manager will have the conversation with the promoter and the broadcaster, because the broadcaster obviously has got to get involved in paying for the show. So there's a lot of people that get involved in terms of making a decision as to who a fighter's going to fight. It isn't just Eddie. It isn't just Ben. It's for someone like Ben's level, it's Eddie, it's Ben, it's Andy Lee as well to an extent. It's the broadcaster and it's his manager. I don't know who that is. It used to be 258. So there's a number of people that get involved in a decision. And ultimately, they've come up with Benjamin GAVAZI. Don't know where he is. I don't know where he's come from. Again, never heard of him. Let's have a quick look at his record. So he's 19-1-0. His one defeat was his first fight. Well done to him to kind of overcome that. He's had 4 10-rounders. I don't know much in terms of an amateur record. His last fight was his biggest win. He won the WBC International Silver Light Heavyweight title, which is what obviously they're going to fight for. He beat a guy called Branimir Malenica in Germany. All of his fights, bar one, has been in Germany. He fought a guy called Andres Masold a couple of years ago outside of Germany. Again, look, never heard of him. Let's see. I just want to see. This is the kind of, you know what this is? This for me is a kind of Boots Ennis thing. When Boots Ennis fought Lima, if you're going to fight that level down, you got to get rid of him. You got to smoke him. Let's hope that Ben Whittaker can smoke this guy. But again, I get why people are upset about this. All right, there's been a lot of talk about Moses Itauma being ordered to face Kubrat Pulev. I wonder if that will be accepted. Again, the reaction to this has been interesting. I've said this for a long time with Moses. Number one, I think Moses is the hottest prospect talent in world boxing, not just in UK boxing. I genuinely believe this, world boxing. I think we have something here. And I think we need to just make sure it's cultivated and grown properly. When all that talk about becoming the youngest ever heavyweight world champion died down, I was like, thank God, can we just build this guy correctly? Now, I know everyone wants to see him go straight at a top dog. You got to be careful. You've got to be very careful with Moses because ultimately he's not had rounds. And I know people like to, and I've said this, and Moses hates it. We haven't seen him get cracked on the chin yet. We haven't. So, yes, I think he's got all the potential to beat some of the top guys, but you've got to build a prospect properly. Age is on his side. That's the beauty about Moses. Most prospects are kind of mid-20s, early 30s, some of them, right? You know, people that have had that long amateur record. Moses being only 20, you can kind of take time with him. You kind of can. The thing about taking time with him is that he's got to be very busy. Like, he can't have fights every 6 months and then the caliber be kind of low. It's got to be relatively high if you're going to fight every 6 months. If you're going to fight every 3 or 4 months, then I think people will accept people just floating around the top 30. I don't mind a Kubrat Pulev fight. Would I have preferred, and it's not sort of done and dusted yet, would I have preferred a Michael Hunter? Absolutely. Absolutely. But Michael Hunter was going to fight Kubrat Pulev, by the way. So I'm not too mad at Kubrat Pulev. He's 44, so obviously he's way past his best. But I know, well, unless Moses chins him early, but I know he will give Moses rounds, which is what Moses needs before he does try and dance with some of those guys in the top 10. You know, it's crazy. I was somewhere yesterday. I went for a meeting in central London yesterday, and a security guard recognized me, and we got to talking about Moses Itauma. And this guy was saying Moses will beat Caballero, Moses will beat Parker, Moses will beat Bakoda. I was like, steady. And I guess this is the problem. So when people like that see Kubrat Pulev, they're like, no. When I'm like, dude, none of these guys that you're like, let's just chill a little bit. Let's kind of rein it in with Moses. Again, we've got a talent over here, guys. Let's cultivate this talent properly. I do think sometimes we're very harsh on the fighters that we have. You got to look at what America do with their talents and how they matchmake them. How many fights has Moses had? I'm going to say 13. Could be wrong. Moses Itauma. Let's have a look. Moses Itauma, 13. Well, I guess. Unless you are an Olympic phenom or amateur phenom, I'm telling you now, no promoter in America, none, is matching their top talent with a killer after 13 fights. It just ain't happening. So let's not be too harsh on Queensberry and Frank Warren if it is Kubrat Pulev. Again, if it's Michael Hunter, it's a bit risky. But if it's Kubrat Pulev, let's not be too harsh. Let him build. Let him build. Go and look at, apart from Usyk, go and look at all your favourite heavyweights. And go and look at who they fought in their 13th or 14th fight. And then kind of come back to me. People do move slowly. But we'll see. Shabazz Masood, Peter McGrail, Monte Carlo build, December 6th. I like these cards. I know people say there's no atmosphere. That's not true. I did the last one. I actually did the last one. Great atmosphere. Mascara beat Chef Clark. Fucking war. Beatrice Ferreira's on there. These cards are pretty good. I think this might be the best Monaco card, Monte Carlo card, whatever, they've had for ages. I think it's a good one. McCormack is on there as well, isn't it? Good card. It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, could cards be better? Absolutely. But come on. It's not a bad card. And it's not a bad atmosphere as well. All right, guys, girls, we are done. Peace and love.